Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
Welcome to another edition of the Inside Edge, another summer edition of the Inside Edge. And can you hear what's going on? Hold on. If you can hear what's going on, what do you hear? Yes, that's right. Nothing very much is going on in the National Hockey League right now. And that's the way it normally is when you get to this point. You're in late July. It's only going to be a couple of weeks before things start really picking up. And then training camp will be opening in just a couple of weeks. So it's all going to be coming fast and furious. There's no doubt about it. But right now, there is just not much going on whatsoever. Now, not much doesn't mean that there is absolutely nothing going on. It's off the ice, of course, middle of summer, or starting to lean toward the end of summer right now, let's be honest about it. But congratulations to Zach Werenski and Odette, his longtime girlfriend, who he married last weekend out in New Albany. So it has been a huge summer for the Werenskis. First of all, Zach wasn't going to play in the World Championships, if you recall, when the season ended. Then he decided that he would go and that he would play for Team USA. Then Team USA won a gold medal, and that was a huge occurrence. Hadn't happened forever. For decades, they hadn't won a gold medal in the World Championship. So they win the gold medal, and then he and Odette go on basically a honeymoon before their wedding, which I think is really, really smart. In that circumstance, if you have a chance to kind of tour the world a little bit, then go and do it. Do it before the wedding, because when you're not getting married until the end of July, there's not a lot of time left before training camp starts, and you're really working out a lot, and you're gearing up to get back on the ice. So I think the way they did it was absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to the Werenskis for a big happening, and a lot of his teammates, of course, were in town over the weekend for that. So that's the biggest Blue Jackets news right now. Now, the biggest news in hockey really came last week. In Canada, there were 5 NHL players who were charged with sexual assault for an incident that went years back to when they were playing for the Canadian World Junior team. Those players were acquitted of all charges last week. Now, I'm not going to get into this whole the trial so much, and there are a lot of different opinions here as far as how the trial went, how it should have gone, all that. I'm not getting into any of that. That is not my point. What I want to bring up out of all of this is, for the first time, I think that there is a disagreement and there's a little bit of friction between the National Hockey League and the National Hockey League's player and the National Hockey League Players Association. Now, these two groups have been getting along just tremendously. Look what has happened between the NHL and the NHLPA. And to me, it really started taking off at the end of Donald Fehr's tenure as the head of the NHLPA and Marty Walsh coming in and taking over the organization. Marty Walsh is very much a player's guy. They have ideas. He is doing a really good job of getting their ideas implemented. Case in point, the Four Nations face-off, the return to the Olympics, this international play that is going on and proved to be just absolutely tremendous during the Four Nations face-off. Those things are going on. The league and the Players Association have already negotiated a new collective bargaining agreement. They did it ahead of time. That is almost unheard of, but they've gotten it done. It's ratified. There's going to be labor peace now for the next 5 years. Those are all great things. But in this situation, they just do not see eye to eye, because even though the players were acquitted of the charges, the NHL is barring the players from re-entering the league. They made a statement on Friday. The players are Michael McLeod, Dylan Dubé, Cal Foote, Alex Formanton, and Carter Hart. And this is what the league said. The allegations made in this case, even if not determined to have been criminal, were very disturbing, and the behavior at issue was unacceptable. We will be reviewing, considering the judge's findings. We will be reviewing and considering the judge's findings, the league said in its statement. While we conduct that analysis and determine the next steps, the players charged in this case are ineligible to play in the league. Now, that brought an immediate response from the NHL Players Association, who said these players were acquitted of all charges by the Ontario Superior Court. After missing more than a full season of their respective NHL careers, they should now have the opportunity to return to work. The NHL's declaration that the players are ineligible to play pending its further analysis of the court findings is inconsistent with the discipline procedures set forth in the collective bargaining agreement. So, as I said, these two entities have been getting along fantastically, and all of a sudden there is a disagreement here. And it's not a surprise, really. I mean, this is a volatile subject, and you would expect that the league would take one stance and the Players Association would take another stance. The Players Association always defending the players. And in this case, basically saying they're innocent. They should be allowed to go right back to work. And the league is saying, okay, they're innocent in this court of law, but let's look at this whole thing with the integrity of the game and the representation of the league and all that. And look, even though there is the appearance of a spat here, this is not a surprise because this is exactly what both sides should be doing. The league should be going through and further looking at this, and the Players Association should be representing their players in this way. I think they'll get it figured out. I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to come to a resolution that both sides are going to be happy with at some point in time. I'm not saying that every individual person in the world is going to be happy with it. I'm just saying that they will come to some agreement. And I would think that that's going to come sometime before training camps open. Let's talk a little bit about the Metropolitan Division right now. News out of Carolina, they have extended forward Jackson Blake, who had 1 year left on his entry-level contract. He has 1 year of NHL service. They have given him an 8-year contract to the tune of $42 million. Now, why do I bring this up? Why is this an important story? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Because Adam Fantilli sits in a very similar situation. Although Fantilli has 2 years of NHL experience, Fantilli also was a 30-plus goal scorer this past year, but he is going into the final year of his entry-level contract. And it's really going to be interesting to see what the Blue Jackets are going to work out with him. Will Don Waddell sign a long-term contract like this with Adam Fantilli? Will Adam Fantilli want to sign a long-term contract like this one? Again, this one, the AAV is just over $5 million a year. So will he be interested in a long-term deal like that, or will he be looking for some kind of a bridge deal, a smaller term type of a deal, so that when it is up, then he can go ahead and make more money, something similar to what Auston Matthews has done in Toronto with the Maple Leafs. So, but this is a guideline. This is a good contract to look at and then begin to wonder those kind of things. All right, I've got some other news and notes that I'll get to later on in the show, but this is the final show of focusing on prospects, because a couple of weeks ago, the Blue Jackets had their development camp right after the draft, and we had an opportunity to sit down and talk to a number of players, and you've heard those interviews over the course of the last couple of weeks. So this is the last show where I'm going to give you more perspective on the prospects. Starting next week, we'll start to get into the nuts and bolts. Even if there's no news, I'll make news by next week. No, I'm just kidding. We'll start to look at the season, the upcoming training camp, and what's going on, what real battles there are going to be. The goaltending battle, the Chinikov situation that I talked about extensively last week. Is that going to be resolved by training camp? Is he going to come to training camp? Is he going to be a first-line guy? Is he going to be a third-line guy? All of that stuff. Starting next week, we'll focus in on all of that. But this week, I want you to meet two Lucas. That's right. And they are two different players of two different sizes, quite frankly. You've got Luca Morelli, a big defenseman that was selected by the Blue Jackets in the third round of the draft in Vegas last summer. He was in town for his second development camp. Coming up, you're going to hear from him. He'll sit down and talk with Dylan Tyre, and you can learn all about him, find out about him. But coming up next, I'm going to take on the more experienced Luca in the organization, if you will, Luca Pinelli, because it was 2 years ago that he was drafted by the Blue Jackets in the fourth round. He is a small player, but he played his junior hockey in Ottawa, and he was the captain of the Ottawa 67s. I know a lot of people in this organization really like Luca Pinelli and the tools that he has and the way that he uses them. And last year, he finished up playing junior hockey, and he wound up in the American Hockey League at the end of the year. We'll talk about that and much, much more. You're going to meet two Lucas as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of Veteran County Veteran Service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just 2 guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said.
And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Well, you should. Window Nation has been replacing windows in the Columbus region for over 15 years. Not only does Window Nation know what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you, they're also local to the area. And right now, you can take advantage of Window Nation's biggest sale of the year. Remember this number, 50% off. All window styles, all from Window Nation. 50% off plus 0 interest for 5 whole years. Yeah, I said that. 5 whole years, 2030. No interest on the windows from Window Nation. Plus, they'll install your new windows in 1 day or less. Get the windows you want for 50% off plus no interest until 2030. What are you waiting for? Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today to get your free quote on replacement windows. Again, I can't stress this enough. You do not want to miss out on this deal. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell them T-Bone sent you.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal? is still within reach. I would know. I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
You hear that crunch? It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, hot and humid with light winds on this Wednesday. Temperatures around 90. Overnight will fall back down to around 70 with partly cloudy skies by morning. Could see a shower early and a chance of a shower or thunderstorm through the early afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny with breezy and cooler conditions late in the day with highs around 80. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
As I told you earlier, this is our last week of concentrating on prospects. We had the opportunity to sit down and talk with some of them at development camp earlier in the month, and I got a chance to meet Luca Pinelli. Well, meet him again. I had met him when he was drafted by the Blue Jackets in the 4th round in the draft at Nashville a couple of years ago. But Pinelli, ever since then, well, he's had 2 great seasons in Ottawa. He had 82 points 2 years ago after he was drafted. He had 71 points this past season. And when the year was done, his junior career came to a close, and he actually joined the Cleveland Monsters for 3 games, getting his first taste of pro hockey. So that's where our conversation started. What was that season like for you last year to get done with your junior career and then quickly move to Cleveland and get a little bit of a taste of the American Hockey League before it was all said and done?
Yeah, it was definitely a cool experience. Obviously, I was fortunate enough to play there, get a few games in, and everyone was great to me there. So, I felt really comfortable playing and confident.
How much did you miss Ottawa once you left? I mean, you were there for a long time. You were the captain of the team. I mean, you were the man in Ottawa, and all of a sudden you show up in Cleveland, and here you are as a rookie in the American Hockey League. That's quite the change from basically from one day to the next.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ottawa was great to me. Definitely, loved that city. They did a lot for me. So, it was definitely a big change, playing against men and going in as kind of a rookie, I guess. But I mean, I kind of just went in like I would in my 4th year in Ottawa. So, just played my game.
Tell me about your time with the 67s and what that meant to you just in your growth as not only a player, but as a person. Like I said, you grew to the point where you were a main leader on the team. So what did that 4 years do for you to make you the guy that you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely matured me. I think, they are a very high class organization. So, everything we did, every little detail was always business. Obviously you have your fun there. But I mean, yeah, I think they did a good job, making me, become a man, I guess you can say. So, it was awesome there, and definitely will never forget my time in Ottawa.
A lot of places you can play junior hockey, but Ottawa's not a bad place. I mean, you're playing in an NHL city. There's plenty of things to do. It's not like you're stuck out on the prairie somewhere.
No, yeah, it's definitely a great city. Very fortunate for that.
So you're coming into your 3rd development camp with the Blue Jackets. If you look at it, and I know you're just getting into this 3rd one, but it's been a progression for you, right? I mean, the first one, you come in right after you get drafted, so you're getting your first real taste of the NHL, being in the building and all that stuff. And then the second one, you come in knowing you're going back to junior. This one's different because, as we said, you finished in Cleveland. So you know that, you're going to be in Columbus or Cleveland when you're coming out of this camp. Just how is it? Has the mindset changed for you, or is the mindset that changed and just the experience has changed for you?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think I look at it like I'm coming in my first camp, come with the same attitude. just show off what I got, kind of be confident out there. But it's just kind of another dev camp for me. I'm looking to show what I have, and we'll see where it goes.
Another dev camp for you, but we were just talking about how you were a leader in Ottawa, and now you're coming for your third camp. I mean, I would imagine that there are some people that might say, hey, Luca, can you tip me off on what's going to happen here or what's going on here? Has anybody done that yet?
What do you mean?
Well, just look at, they're coming here for the first time. They don't know what to expect, and you've gone through it a couple times.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the guys that, just got drafted and, the guys younger than me, I think they, will kind of look at me as a leader. So, I mean, I'm always, open to, helping the guys out, making them feel more comfortable, because, I mean, I know what it felt like when I was in my first dev camp. You're definitely a little nervous and stuff, but I mean, I know a couple guys, that just got drafted too. So, I'm going to take them under my wing and, have a good time.
Who are those guys?
I mean, I know Owen Griffin. He's one of my, closest friends, buddies. So, I kind of know him like a mutual, hung out with him before a couple times. So, he's a good player, good kid. So,
as I'm hearing you say that, I'm thinking that there's probably a lot of things that you can help him out with, because you guys are kind of the same stature as well. Guys that have found ways to score, that hasn't been a problem with you in your junior careers, but you're, smaller guys that have had to make your own way, and it worked out great for you. And do you see that same kind of thing with him?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's, a very skilled player. I definitely think we kind of have similar playing styles. I think I definitely can teach him a few things, and, happy for him to get drafted here. So it's been good so far.
Talking with Luca Pinelli of the Blue Jackets, and I got to ask you this question, because I'm talking about your stature. Look, this game changes all the time, and, there was a time where guys of your size that were under 6 feet, it would be hard to get into the league. And then all of a sudden the league got a little bit smaller and a little bit faster. And now you look at what's going on, it's getting much bigger again, especially on the blue line. It's getting bigger there. But do you ever get sick of people talking about small guys? Look, if it was me, I would probably say, we just shut up and quit saying, I'm a hockey player. Don't worry about it. Just look at my numbers and leave it at that.
I mean, I think, just coming in, even in the OHL, I think I got that a lot, doing interviews and stuff like that. Definitely always, heard of how, I'm a smaller guy, but I mean, I kind of just, brush it off a bit. And I think that, anyone can play the game. I mean, there's who's 5'6" playing in the NHL. At one point, there was someone 5'6". Who was it? I forget his name. He was on.
You're going to get me.
Yeah, but I mean, that just shows like anything right. Can, anyone can play. It's just all in the heart. And you can't really let people tell you what what size you have to be and stuff. I just kind of battle through it. I kind of brush it off now, so it never really bothers me.
No, well, good.
Yeah,
good. I'm glad. I would with my temperament, I would have totally bothered by it. I won't lie to you. Well, and of course, Martin St. Louis is a guy that is really credited with a breakthrough there. We're smaller guys. We had Cam Atkinson here for years who put up great numbers. So, it really shouldn't matter. It's how you get the job done. Now, I will ask you this. As the defensemen become towering once again, advantage, disadvantage, how do you play through that as a smaller forward?
I mean, just kind of get low, like a low center of gravity. I mean, I think it'll kind of be harder for them maybe. You kind of squirm around them, I guess. But, I mean, I've always I like going up against Big D, even from my first year in Ottawa. I think that was like one of my favorite things to do. So, I mean, I definitely love the challenge, and just kind of find a way to get them off balance or get around them.
Now, as you come into this camp, because you have that experience of having been here before, are there any specific things outside of the hockey when you get? I know you don't get a lot of downtime in these things. But any specific things you want to do or places you want to go or things you want to see?
Like around the world, like anywhere?
No, I just while you're here. While you're
in Columbus.
Did you run across a restaurant in the past and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to go back there? Or is there something you didn't see last time and you're like, if I have 30 minutes, I want to do this?
I mean, I've always kind of wanted to visit the Ohio State facility. I think we're going to be doing that this week, though, actually. But
work that one out for you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's kind of perfect, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the bigger things. But yeah, just I mean, I usually kind of stay on the same area, walking distance near this rink. So, but yeah, that's probably one of the bigger things I want to go check out.
Why is that one of the things you want to check out? Just because of the aura of Ohio State? I mean, you only have to be in this town for 5 seconds and you feel it, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think just kind of like the history they have and, you know, like all the talk with, you know, their facilities and just, I just want to see kind of what a college campus kind of looks like, what their setup is like and stuff. And, I mean, I've kind of driven down there a little bit when we went to do our testing and stuff in the last 2 years, but so I kind of get to see like what it looks like, and it looks, you know, pretty cool. Like just go for a walk down there and stuff. So
yeah, it's and did you watch the outdoor game last year by any chance?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I thought it was a sick experience. Yeah, I mean, I'd you know, love to be out there, but that would be crazy. But yeah, it looked unreal. I mean, everyone that showed up and you know, everything, just the jerseys, the game, it was cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when you have almost 95,000 people sitting in that building, and I've been in that building for football, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
I would have never predicted. Well, I can't say I wouldn't have predicted people showing up for it, but just everything around it and the electricity and the energy was awesome. Now, I will tell you one thing that I was surprised by: the Blue Jackets were in the Ohio State locker room, and I was surprised how really I thought plain and like this is a national championship facility and this is the locker room. But I will tell you this, the practice facility, the Woody Hayes facility, I think that's where you guys are going later in the week.
Yeah.
And I heard that's where all the great stuff is.
Okay.
The stadium is just a game day, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like if you have this really elaborate practice rink and you show up at the game rink and your dressing room is like, okay, we'll deal with this for a day. Right.
Yeah.
It's supposedly that kind of thing. So I'm excited for you to get to see it.
Oh, okay. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
So what have you been, how much have you been working since the end of the season? Because we always talk about this, like fans think that it's nonstop workouts for hockey players. And some people think it should be, but you got to have fun. You got to live a life. What have you done that's been fun since the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely took a little break from the ice. I think last year I didn't really have much of a break. So, yeah, this year, I mean, I went down to Florida with my family for 4 days or so and spent time with them. So that was a nice little getaway.
Where'd you go? East Coast, West Coast?
West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So went down to Boca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, it was a good time there, and also, you know, have a cottage, so right down near Niagara on Lake Erie. So we usually go there on the weekends and just do a little bit of stuff and you know, enjoy it.
Is this development camp just kind of not a startup, but is it kind of you break from the fun stuff that you're doing for a time to come in here, go through some drills, go through the testing, see the staff, and then when you go back, do you get right into it, or will there be just a little bit of time that you'll ride out before you get into regular training for the start of the season?
No, I'll definitely like get right back into it. That's what I've done for the past 2 years. So yeah, I've been training pretty hard lately, and then you know, come to this camp for a week, and come Monday I'll be back in my gym and on the ice. So
what are you working on? Anything specifically? Like a lot of guys, they work on specific parts of their game in the summer. Do you have anything specific, or for you, is it just an overall thing, knowing that you're coming into your first full pro year?
I mean, I definitely have some things. Obviously, I have a skating coach to work on my skating, and I think I've been working a lot on kind of wall work, rims, you know, cutbacks, getting out of them. So those are probably like you know, the bigger things I've been focusing on the ice.
You train with any other guys any other pro guys?
Yeah, I mean, I got obviously my older brother Francesco. He's with LA, so you know, fortunate enough to be training with him. But yeah, we got a good group. I mean, Ethan Del Mastro, he's with Blackhawks. Jack guy comes out sometimes. So yeah, we got definitely a good group. Keep it a little small, but so lots of reps and stuff like that.
How excited are you to be a part of this organization after what you saw them go through last year, and that you know for sure this is a team that is getting back to where it expects to win, it expects to get in the playoffs and be there year in and year out?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've seen like a lot of big steps, you know, when I got drafted. But yeah, I think the whole organization, the players, they've really bought into what they want to do. And, you know, obviously next goal is to get in the playoffs. And, but yeah, I think it's an awesome organization to hopefully get started. Hopefully I can get in there and help out.
Yeah, I think it's a good time for a guy like you. I mean, quite frankly, because, you know, even if you're starting in Cleveland, there'll be opportunities and, you know, an opportunity for you to get better as a pro player. I was talking about Ottawa, you know, like you were in a big city. If you have to go to the American Hockey League in this organization, Cleveland's not a bad place.
Oh, not at all. No, it's a great city. Great spot.
Did you do anything fun there in the short time you were there in the spring?
I mean, I think it was a little harder this year. I wasn't there as long this year, but last year, I didn't get any games, so I think I, you know, did a little more. Whether, I don't know, I went to some escape rooms with some guys one time, and I don't know, just went out for lunch usually with the guys. But I haven't been to the basketball game yet, so waiting to do that one. But yeah, I think it's a great city, and yeah, fans are great there too. So
yeah, when you're a sports guy, there's plenty of stuff to do there outside of your own job.
Yeah,
right. With the Guardians, the Cavs, and the Browns, and all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, not a bad place to be as you're learning to be a pro hockey player. That is Luca Pinelli, and look for him during training camp this year, trying to catch the attention of the management and really start to make a name for himself as a pro player. Coming up next, you're going to hear from another Luca as Dylan Tyre sits down with Luca Morelli when the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Now open. Zoombezi Bay's brand new conservation tower. 3 slides, 1 tower, and endless thrills. Only at
Zoombezi Bay.
Plan your visit at ZoombeziBay.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers. Tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has deals that are red hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for only $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or you can take on any road in the all-new 25 Honda Passport RTL. Lease it now for $449 a month or 3.99% APR. Summer's here. Dive into the savings at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds Baseball, The Fan.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McGilligan. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Well, this episode of the Inside Edge is like a law firm of Luca and Luca. What do I mean? Well, you just heard from Luca Pinelli. He is a smaller forward that the Blue Jackets took a couple of years ago in the fourth round of the NHL draft. And now you're going to hear from Luca Morelli. Now, he is very different in terms of stature and position because, first of all, Morelli is a defenseman. And he was one of the guys that Don Waddell took in his very first draft as the general manager of the Blue Jackets, the one in Vegas, not this summer, but last summer. And that means he's a big guy because a lot of big guys were taken in that draft by the Blue Jackets. Luca Morelli, 6'2", 185 pounds. He was playing in Oshawa of the Ontario Hockey League. He's coming off a fantastic season where in 67 games he had 74 points, 19 goals, and 55 assists. So obviously he likes to move the puck. He's good at it. He picks up points. And as I said, he's a big body. And he sat down to talk with Dylan Tyre at development camp earlier this month.
All right, Luca, welcome back to Blue Jackets development camp. Obviously, year 2 for you at CBJ Dev Camp. So what feels different this time around?
I mean, it's always nice kind of coming back here, having some familiarity, knowing the people, knowing the players. So that's really good. And you kind of are able to take a leadership role when you're here.
All right, you talked about knowing some guys here. Maybe just knowing the arena helps, too. I saw you hanging out with Caden Lindstrom a little bit yesterday. So who are some of your buddies from last year, maybe new friends this year that you've developed some relationships with?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of great guys here, you know, hanging out with Lindy, Pinelli, Chuck, like I'm rooming with Alec, also Gardner, like we got drafted together, and then I've been hanging out with Jackson Smith, the new guy.
What's he like? I know everybody wants to learn more about Jackson Smith. So you're an OHLer, he's a WHLer, but what's Jackson Smith like?
I mean, he's a great guy. I'm sure you guys are going to love him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tell me a little bit about your development over the course of the last year. You had a great season with Oshawa, but if you picture yourself this time last year at development camp and how you feel now, what's changed for you?
I mean, I think I've grown a lot as a person and a player on and off the ice. Mm-hmm. You know, I think confidence was a really big thing for me this year, and I was surrounded by a lot of really, really high-end, talented players on my team, so that obviously helped me.
Confidence. Where does being drafted by the Blue Jackets, going to development camp, training camp, factor into that? I know a lot of guys just feel better after having that experience under their belt.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you're on the ice with guys that play hockey for a living and are high-end NHL players, and you really see what it takes, but you also can see, like, what you need to do and kind of how far off you really are. So, I mean, it's a bit eye-opening when you first come to your first camp, but it also kind of pushes you to be better and bring that back to your junior team.
As far as it goes with that confidence, it obviously built for you as the season went on, right? You had an awesome year with Oshawa, but did you feel that right away? The minute you got back there, was it like, okay, I'm a little bit different now?
I mean, yeah, you're older, you're stronger, you're faster, and then you're coming off your first camp and playing against older, bigger NHL players, and you go back to the OHL and I'm playing against younger kids, and you're an older guy in the league, so obviously there's some confidence there. And you know, we didn't have all of our big guys on our team back and for a little bit, maybe a couple months there. So we had different guys step up. You know, Griff, who's here now, was great for us all year, especially in the playoffs, but he was also really good at the start of the year. So, yeah, like, the confidence is huge.
You brought up the name Griff there. That is Owen Griffin, who the Blue Jackets drafted in 2025. He was the leading goal scorer in the OHL playoffs after, you know, he had a good regular season, but just exploded in the playoffs. What do we need to know about this guy? What makes him special?
I mean, he just kind of does it all. He's not the biggest guy out there, but he works hard, he competes. He's really, really, really smart player. He's really good defender. He played PK and power play for us, and, you know, he can put the puck in the net, and he can play with really good players, so that's Griff for you.
What about him away from the ice? Is there anything fun about him or unique that comes to mind for you?
I mean, nothing crazy. We always just call him a little kid because he's looks like a little kid and acts like a little kid, so it's all good things.
All right, tell me about this past season in Oshawa. You had such a good roster with a bunch of high NHL draft picks, went to the OHL final against London. If you kind of had to describe this past season, how would you do it? Very, very good year.
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty good year, but when you don't win your last game, it's not a success. So I wouldn't call it a failure, but, you know, I think we left some stuff on the table, and I might look back in a couple of years and really regret this, but you know what? Like, it was an unreal group of players. We all gave it all we had, and, you know, I love every one of those guys. We'll be brothers for life.
What did you kind of take away from the year in terms of where your game is and where you want it to go as you make the leap to pro hockey?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was just kind of focusing on defending and letting the offense come. And, you know, when you're playing with good players, it doesn't really take much. So just really dialing in that defense because you got to defend to play at the next level. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Have you had much of a break this offseason? Because, I mean, you played late into the playoffs and now you're here at development camp. So what have the last few weeks looked like for you in terms of, I don't know, get it? First of all, you obviously want to get better and take that next step, but you also want to take some time for yourself.
Yeah, you know, recovery's huge. I think I took 2.5 weeks off completely and just did nothing after back-to-back really long seasons. And then, you know, I've been in the gym, I think, going on 4 weeks now, but I haven't really been on the ice. I think I've been on the ice like 6 times. So I'm not really too focused on my on ice right now, just really focusing on the gym and getting bigger and stronger.
Is that strange at all then, having not really been on the ice a whole lot, and then you come to development camp and you're in the thick of things with these guys?
Yeah, it's not strange. You know, it's what we're doing here. We're here for a reason, right? And it's good. And it's not like crazy. We're not on the ice 6 times a day. We're going out there for 50 minutes. We're just doing some skill, some flow, and a little bit of battle. So I love all that stuff. I love being on the ice. So happy to be here.
I am always curious, like after a season, how you pinpoint what you want to get better at or work on over the offseason going into next year. I've talked with guys before, like I think Adam Fantilli or Zach Werenski has talked about it in that he likes to get better at some of the things he's already good at. Other guys maybe pinpoint some of their different weaknesses. So what is it for you, and what are you trying to attack this summer?
I mean, obviously it's a little bit of both. Because when you're good at something, other people are going to try and get good at it too. So you got to try and stay good at it. And then when you're not so good at something, you're chasing the guys that are good at whatever the skill may be. So for me, I think I'm going to really just focus on my defending and physicality and that sort of thing. And then also continue to work on kind of the offensive game and movement on the blue line and getting pucks through.
Who are some of those guys in the NHL that you look up to model your game after? Because, you know, you bring that up right there, the things you want to work on, and, you know, maybe this guy is good at that, and you see a little bit of yourself in that player. So who are some of those guys for you?
Well, I mean, through the whole draft process, the guy I would say was Sean Durzi. Mm-hmm. But, you know, now being a Columbus draft pick and having the privilege of watching Werenski whenever I turn the TV on, like, he's just so good. So just not saying I'm even near what he is, but just watching him and be able to take little parts from his game is always great.
What is it about Zach specifically? Because we are very fortunate to be able to watch it on a night-to-night basis. He even took a massive step this year. So what is it about Zach Werenski's game that you like?
Well, he just floats on the ice. So it's like he gets up and down the ice so easily, but just kind of like timing when to, join the rush versus like lead the rush. And then his shots, I think, severely underrated. The guy can shoot a puck. So just watching that and just how he scores off the rush.
What is it like to be able to see him in person? Like, you go to Blue Jackets main camp, and he's going to be there. You're going to be able to learn some things from him. What does that mean to you to have that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty surreal, and there's a lot of really, really good players here, so it's not really just him, but just all of them, and just watching kind of what they do on a day-to-day basis and their habits is always good knowledge.
Zach is obviously now a veteran in the National Hockey League, but it still feels like he's a younger guy. He's not even 30 yet, and he is one of the leaders. I was going to say the leader, but there's so many guys of a great young core in Columbus now, and that includes you and some of these different prospects coming up. What does it mean to you to be a part of that, and just what do you think about this organization and kind of the trajectory it's on right now?
I mean, it's really super exciting. Like, this organization's really on the come up right now, and they're on the rise. So just to be a part of that and be able to witness that day in, day out, it's always a great thing.
You talked about turning on the Blue Jackets, watching games. Do you guys talk about that at all? Like, now you've got Owen Griffin with you, obviously. Like, it's kind of a cool thing that you guys are able to kind of have a new team that you root for. So is that something that you do all the time?
Yeah, it was crazy watching the draft. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, man, like, Griff's still on the board, and the panel was just talking about him, and all of a sudden I hear from the Oshawa Generals, Owen Griffin, and I called him right away. I was going crazy, and, he's a great guy. I couldn't be happier to have him here and, a former teammate, so it's great.
Can you tell us what his reaction was to being teammates with you all over again?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, we're teammates again, and it was pretty funny, and, he's super excited, and, I think he's just really happy and grateful to be here.
As far as the rest of the offseason goes, what does it look like for you? What are your plans leading into training camp?
Just kind of perfect all areas of my game, get bigger, get stronger, get faster, and, just come here ready to work.
All right, Luke, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for taking the time, and best of luck this summer.
Thank you.
That is Dylan Tyre with Blue Jackets defense prospect Luca Morelli. It'll be very interesting and fun to watch him in training camp this year and see how some of these guys that haven't even been part of the organization for very long, see what kind of impact they're going to have early in their pro career with the Blue Jackets. I'll be back to wrap up this week's edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Getting started in hockey has never been easier. The Blue Jackets Learn to Play program, presented by Performance Columbus in association with Moo Express Car Wash and Kroger, is an introductory ice hockey program for boys and girls ages 4 to 10. Classes are held year-round at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Registration includes age-appropriate instruction and head-to-toe equipment, yours to keep. Hockey starts here at bluejackets.com/learn-to-play.
Create career momentum with us at Worthington Steel. Whether you're a recent grad or a seasoned veteran looking to level up, we'll empower your journey. Join a team that puts people first with career development programs, competitive pay, and excellent benefits, including lower health insurance premiums than comparable companies. Let's drive steel forward together. Apply today at worthingtonsteel.com/careers. That's worthingtonsteel.com/careers.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Getting ready to wrap up this week's edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I hope you enjoyed meeting the two Lucas in tonight's show, Luca Pinelli and Luca Morelli. You're going to learn a lot more about them at training camp coming up in September. I promised you earlier in the show more news and notes. Here's an interesting story out of Pittsburgh, and I find this fascinating. Back in 2021, the group led by Mario Lemieux sold the Pittsburgh Penguins to the Fenway Sports Group. Now, it seems that Lemieux wants back in, and he wants back in with the Penguins. There has been news in the last couple of months that the Fenway Sports Group was looking to add a minority owner, and they're doing that for an influx of cash. A lot of teams are starting to do that right now, but they want a minority owner. But Mario Lemieux and his former business partner, Ron Burkle, they want to come back in and take over the franchise once again. David Morehouse is also involved in their group. David Morehouse was a longtime president of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I just find this fascinating. It was in 2021 that they sold it. They sold it for $900 million. If they buy it back, they're going to have to buy it back for more. It just almost fascinates me. But I will tell you this. From the moment that it was sold to Fenway, there has been there's been something with Mario Lemieux. I mean, he's not been close to the team. I think he still is a minority owner. He still has a small piece of it, but he hasn't been as involved in the organization as he was for many years prior to that. So is there another Lemieux return on the horizon in Pittsburgh? You'd think after the guy saved the team once by being drafted first overall in 1984, then he saved the franchise again when he bought it. He was getting paid in shares, and he turned the shares into Capital, and he owned the team after it was coming out of bankruptcy. And so that was 2 saves. He didn't really get Sidney Crosby, but I don't think it hurt that he was there, that Crosby wound up coming in first overall to them. And could he come back again to a franchise that is, they're struggling. They're going into their struggles right now. There's no doubt. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, they're aging out. They're trying to do a rebuild there. Kyle Dubas is trying to start a rebuild. It's going to be a very lengthy process for what they have to do. But I just find it fascinating that Mario Lemieux could be coming back in an ownership role once again with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Former Washington Capital Nicholas Backstrom, he hasn't played in the last 2 years in the National Hockey League, but this week he signed in Sweden, and he's going to play back in his home country. And I saw a story yesterday that said that former Blue Jackets defenseman Markus Nutivaara is going to do the same thing. He hasn't played in the last 4 years because of injury problems, and he is signed with a team in Finland. So it's good to see a good guy getting back into the game, and that's exactly what Markus Nutivaara is. And then how about this one? Veteran forward Jimmy Vesey is considering a move to the KHL after the Colorado Avalanche declined to re-sign him. Now, Jimmy Vesey is 32 years of age, and he's actually played for a lot of teams in the league. But this guy, go back to the beginning of his career. He was going to school at Harvard. He was originally drafted by the Nashville Predators, but he decided pretty much right away, I'm going to play all 4 of my seasons at Harvard. And the reason that he did that was he didn't want to go to play for the Nashville Predators. He never wanted to play there. The only place that he wanted to go and play was for his beloved New York Rangers. So what he basically did is he engineered a trade to get to the Rangers. And he ended up having 2 different stints with the Rangers, as a matter of fact. He wound up playing 626 games in the NHL with the Rangers 2 times. He played in Buffalo. He played in Toronto. He played in Vancouver and New Jersey and Colorado. It's, I knew he was with several teams, but when I started going through the list, I was like, wow, he bounced around to that many teams before it was all said and done. He was back with the Rangers this past year, and then the Rangers dealt him, along with Ryan Lindgren, to the Colorado Avalanche. And as I said, the Avalanche has decided not to re-up with him, so he's looking to go to the KHL. That's the way it goes. And if you stick around for a long time, that's going to happen to you, and sometimes you have to go overseas, and that doesn't mean that you never get a chance to come back. But I thought that one was an interesting story as well. So that's a little bit of what's going on around the league when there's really not much going on around the league. Thanks to Luca Pinelli and Luca Morelli for joining us here on this edition of The Inside Edge. As always, thanks to you for being there, and I'll be back with another show for you next week. It's The Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Road
trip. This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings because you're driving to Paris,
Texas.
Then it's off to Rome,
Georgia.
And you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Looking to save on your auto loan? CME wants to beat your current rate by 1.5% APR. Low rates and no payments for 90 days. Why wait? Refinance today and keep more money in your pocket. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 4.99% APR. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Broadcasting from the